Hello, welcome to the Florida Peanut Podcast. Joining me in studio is our, as always, fearless leader and executive director, Laura Fowler-Goss, and I'm Noah Walker with All Things Visual. We are continuing FFA week, and today we have two chapter members from the Williston Middle School chapter, Annabelle Whitehurst and Annastyn Chorbat. Welcome, ladies, and could you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourselves and finish introducing yourselves?
Okay, so I'm Annabelle Whitehurst, and I am the president of our middle school chapter, and will be competing in the Creed contest at state soon. So this is good practice for me.
Yay!
And I am Annastyn Chorbat. I am the reporter of our chapter, and I have been an FFA for 2 years, and I compete in many contests that I try to get to. Okay,
so one more thing. Tell us a fun fact about each of you. We'll start back with you, Miss Annabelle.
Okay, so my fun fact is I'm a 4th generational FFA member.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
And I barrel race around Florida and local shows.
Nice. Now, what's your best time, Miss Annastyn?
Like a 17.387, I think.
Oh, nice, sister.
Very good.
Y'all for taking time to be with us and putting on your official dress, looking all snazzy. We're excited.
Absolutely. Your time is incredibly valuable. We really appreciate you guys sitting in and doing this, especially with such a huge competition coming up.
Yeah.
And moving into that, what is the FFA Creed, Miss Annabelle?
So the FFA Creed was written by E.M. Tiffany, and I think it outlines the beliefs of FFA members, and it teaches us to appreciate how far agriculture has come and how far it will take us.
Yes.
Would you like to recite it for us?
I will. I'm going to stand up, actually. The FFA Creed by E.M. Tiffany. I believe in the future of agriculture with a faith born not of words, but of deeds. Achievements won by the present and past generations of agriculturalists, and the promise of better days through better ways, even as the better things we now enjoy have come to us from the struggles of former years. I believe that to live and work on a good farm or to be engaged in other agricultural pursuits is pleasant as well as challenging. For I know the joys and discomforts of agricultural life and hold an inborn fondness for those associations which, even in hours of discouragement, I cannot deny. I believe in leadership from ourselves and respect from others. I believe in my own ability to work efficiently and think clearly, with such knowledge and skill as I can secure, and in the ability of progressive agriculturalists to serve our own in the public interest in producing and marketing the product of our toil. I believe in less dependence on begging and more power in bargaining, in the life abundant and enough honest wealth to help make it so for others as well as myself, in less need for charity and more of it when needed, in being happy myself and playing square with those whose happiness depends upon me. I believe that American agriculture can and will hold true to the best traditions of our national life, and that I can exert an influence in my home and community, which will stand solid for my part in that inspiring task.
That was awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Hey, so here's a fun fact, girls. I gave a presentation a couple of years ago, and I knew the group was very familiar with FFA, and I started each of my points in that presentation with, I believe, the same first 4 or 5 words and then wrapped it around to what I was saying. And I felt so proud of myself. And then afterward, about half the people were like, and then the other were really impressed. And one man from Williston, he said to me, my daughter competed in the Creed contest. I've got it memorized by heart. And we had a lovely conversation. And he went on to say, when she was learning it, she wrote it on poster board and put it with thumbtacks to the ceiling in her bedroom so that she could lay in her
Wow.
bed at night and read it. That's good stuff right there, isn't it?
Dedication.
I love it. But it was so funny to me that he said, my whole family knows the whole entire FFA.
That's awesome. Well, and also that technique is segmenting your audience really well, so that the ones that were like, they weren't really the people that you wanted to talk to anyway.
Right.
So that's perfect. That Creed also has a lot of great classical American beliefs and you know, credence in it.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. I've never heard it before, so I loved it.
Oh, wow.
Make you feel a little bit like cozy and happy for the future because the world doesn't look very good.
It did, yeah. No, it did. We need more of that Creed in youth, in schools,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
really in professional life as well.
We won't ask you this on this podcast because it's a long answer that you'll need to think about. But in what ways could we take those really vital little nuggets of goodness and through some ag in the classroom or through some ag ventures or something like that, kind of start imparting those on the elementary school kids, just because those are the things we don't really talk about that really can build character and have a huge impact as a person goes through life. Y'all work on that a little bit.
Mull that one over. Now, Miss Annabelle, you are reciting the Creed in competitions, correct?
Yes, sir.
What competitions have you been through? Like, how does that work? How's the contest flow? What have you done up to this point, and what do you have going forward?
So I won the sub-district contest and advanced on to districts, which I won. And so the Creed contest, you recite the Creed, and I think it has to be under 4 minutes. And so then the judges will ask questions, kind of what does it mean to you, or what does this phrase mean, or how can we apply the Creed to our lives? And they'll ask us like 3 questions such as those. And it's also, there's a couple fun facts about the Creed. It was written in 1928 that you have to know, and it was revised in 1934.
Not since 34. That's crazy. Okay, so Annabelle, now you compete at the state contest, which is at the state convention in June, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then is the Creed a national contest?
It is. It is.
Ooh, so you'll get to go to Indianapolis and compete on the national level once you win in Orlando this summer.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
Exciting. How exciting. And those dates are pretty incredible too, right? So in 1928, everything seemed to be pretty honky-dory in the US. And then you had 1929 was the introduction of Black Friday and the crash of the stock market and the beginning of the Great Depression, which, if it was revised in 1934, were Dust Bowl times,
right?
Real hard times for America. So when real hard times occur, men are forged, adults are forged to be stronger, and that's a very powerful creed that came out of a real hard time. Yeah,
to stick through that
real hard time. Well, that's very exciting, and we're pulling for you to not only win state, but win nationals as well. But we have your partner, Miss Annastyn, who's sitting right next to you. And Miss Annastyn is an accomplished animal trainer, from what we talked about in pre-conversation. But tell us about your FFA experience, Miss Annastyn. What are you involved in, and what do you do in FFA?
I have competed in horse evaluation for 2 years. Actually my second year, we placed 3rd in state. So we got to go to state convention this past year. And this year I am also trying for conduct, which is parliamentary procedure and open and closing ceremonies like put together.
Awesome.
So that's a leadership development event that has to do with speaking and memorizing parts and knowing how to go through the motions of a meeting, right?
Yes.
Now, how far have you come in your competition or training? What have you been able to experience in that so far?
I've been able to experience many things. I have learned to get over my fear of speaking. I hate speaking in front of people. That is one of my biggest ones. But I have learned that sometimes it's not always that bad. And if you try it, you will get better.
It's like a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. And also, I think fear of public speaking is the whenever polled is the highest percentage of people's fears, of adult fears across the country, which is kind of crazy to me because spiders are terrifying. And I have no problem talking to most people or a group of people.
Oh no, so my family is very equestrian, and I just want to put on the rhinestones and carry the flag, or at the beginning of the rodeo or something. That's kind of all I've got. But if you are barrel racing, that is a competition that has a lot of elements to it. So do you look forward to doing junior rodeo and high school rodeo, where you just go for fun, or tell us about that and how you got started and kind of the different components of your animal? And
so I started because my sister has always had a passion for horses, and she kind of made me fall in love with them too. I hope to, before I am 18, or hopefully before I graduate, I am hoping to qualify for the National Finals Rodeo, which is NFR, and compete there, because that is one of my dreams.
Yes.
That is awesome. Miss, well, how long have each of you guys been in FFA? Miss Annabelle, how long have you been in FFA?
We've both been in FFA for 2 years. Yeah, it's been 2 years, but we both did 4-H previously.
And both of you guys are extremely accomplished so far in your FFA careers. What are some of the things? What are some of the things that you guys have learned through FFA?
Hold on. Let them brag on what they've won, because these girls are no joke. So first of all, brag on what you've won, and then say, through these experiences, I've built self-confidence and problem solving.
Perfect.
Okay, so I've done my fair share of contests, and I've done OH demos, which is ornamental horticulture demonstrations, in the artistic arrangement division. And me and my partner got second place the first year, and then we placed first last year. I've done vegetable judging my 6th grade year. I was the alternate for our livestock judging team, which won state. And I've done opening and closing ceremonies and parliamentary procedure, which we won state last year. So I got to go to Indianapolis.
Nice.
You go to school every day, right? I'm just trying to figure out where you get the time to learn and do all this stuff.
Time management for sure.
Yeah, big time.
Annastyn, how about you?
Well, with being extremely busy with the horses, I only really have competed in just a handful, and that was horse judging. I tried it in 6th grade, but we did not qualify for state. My 7th grade year, which was last year, we qualified for state and we made it 3rd. And then this year we qualified for state. So we'll compete actually on the 12th of this month and at State Fair. And that's about it.
And then you do a hog at the fair, is that right?
Yes.
Which animal is easier How do they differ, right? So hogs and horses, how do they differ in how you train them and what you're training them for?
So with the pigs, you usually you have to start by really just sitting in there with them, getting them used to you as a person, because they're usually don't or not really around people much when they're little. So you train them like that, and then you can learn to use different with your show whip, and you teach them to walk and listen to the different taps that you do on their like face or like behind their like on their jowl area, and keep their head up and walking forward and showing all their muscle and fat off. And then horses, we usually start with groundwork first, and then we train by hopping on them and training them that way.
Emotions. Oh, very good. And you both have big competitions coming up, right? So you're going to be at State Fair on February 12th. Miss Annabelle, when is the Creed competition coming up?
It's in June. I think it's the 19th is when the Creed contest is.
Wow. So you've got some time to, well, really, I don't know that you need any more refinement because you killed it there, giving us a presentation of it. I'd be nervous if my competition was next week, like yours is, Miss Annastyn. I'd start getting those competition butterflies, but I'm super impressed. I'm super impressed by both of them.
Those are incredible examples of FFA members. So tell us, full circle, a few things you've learned and a few of your favorite FFA activities, and then we'll wrap it up with some real tough Creed questions.
Okay. I also, like Annastyn said, I show at the fair. I do not show a pig, but I do show steers. And I think through my SAE and working with my steer, there's definitely a lot of stuff on time management, especially with balancing those other contests. And it's like you were saying, it's a whole lot of work, and it's always discouraging sometimes when stuff doesn't work out. But I know when I get to the fair and I sell my animal and make a profit, that's hard work paying off. And I think the same thing applies to the contests I've competed in. Winning state for Par Pro and OH demos, that was definitely seeing hard work pay off. Yes, I totally agree with that one. Pigs, they are definitely not the easiest because they will take off running, and you just kind of have to let them go until they stop. But I've learned that, I mean, again, patience, that is the key. You can't just always just rush into things and hope that you're going to be the best of all times. You have to take a lot of practice and time and learning the patience and not getting too overwhelmed and stressed out.
Good life skills right there, my friends.
Incredible life skills.
Super valuable.
Yeah. Well, in personal life as well as professional, I don't know that there's a more important skill that you can learn at a young age than patience. Honestly, you'll need that for the rest of your life.
That virtue. Virtue. Okay, Annabelle. EM. Why did he go by EM, and what are the names that those initials stand for?
So E, I think it's Erwin Milden. I think it's Erwin Milden Tiffany. So EM Tiffany.
Okay. Have there been any other potential revisions to the creed that maybe have been brought to assembly and not passed?
I know in my contest, it was brought to my attention that in the beginning, it was called, I believe in the future of farming. That was the first line of the creed. And so it was changed to, I believe in the future of agriculture. I don't know when it was changed, but I know it was changed.
Man, I really was hoping to get you some of these questions. Okay, here's another one. What vote does it take to pass a revision of the FFA Creed?
Would it be a majority?
I don't know. I'm just thinking something that major would have to be like published to all the delegates of the national convention so they could consider it in advance of the convention. And then it would need a lot. I mean, 2/3 or 3/4 or something like that. You just can't go in with 51 goons and try to pass something that major.
Right.
I wouldn't think so. 2/3 sounds right.
Girls, we have enjoyed visiting with y'all. Thank you very, very much for your time today. It's been fun for me. I hope it hasn't been too terrible on you all.
We enjoyed it. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
It's been a great time. And you were right. It is Erwin Milton Tiffany. So
And that Google.
yeah, boom, you're good. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for the Florida Peanut Podcast. I'm Noah Walker with All Things Visual Marketing. Again, I've been joined in studio by the fearless leader and executive director of the Florida Peanut Federation, Laura Fowler-Goss, as well as Miss Annabelle Whitehurst, president, and Miss Annastyn Chorbat, reporter of the Williston Middle School chapter of FFA here in North Florida. So thank you, ladies, for joining us. We hope that everyone has a wonderful day. Thanks.